The more I play Apex, the more I realize how steep the learning curve can be at times. After sinking over 100 hours into the game, I'm confident enough to say I probably have learned the majority of the tricks, and in some case, exploits, to unlocking the full potential of movement in this game. While I realize many of you watching this have probably perused through many other tips and tricks videos, I hope to touch on a few points that possibly you don't already know. As a way to judge how I did, leave a number out of 8 of how many of these tips you already knew in the comments. First and foremost, mobility is one of the most important aspects of Apex. If you can outmaneuver an enemy, you're far more likely to win a fight if your aim is equal or even a bit worse. So in an effort to extend your Apex mobility, here is my list of things you should try. Number 1. Did you know you can go a lot farther on a redeploy balloon? If you look up as you ascend, hold right click and W after you launch, and try to bounce off the walls. In this clip, without the glitch, you can see I traveled a fair distance. However, when I used the glitch, I extended my reach almost 1.5 times as far. This can be especially useful when running away from enemies, finding enemies, or just relocating on the map. Now this is a fairly common trick, but most people don't tell you that you can change your direction mid-flight. You simply reapply the glitch. You look straight up, change your direction by letting go of the right mouse. Hold the mouse down again when you have the direction you want to go, and then look back down again. Number 2. In the same vein, when you fall from a great distance, your character has a large amount of stagger frames where you can't pick up and run again for just a moment. You can almost eliminate this entirely if you simply punch or kick the ground as you're about to hit it. Number 3. Now this one isn't as important and it's also rather difficult, but if you slide jump and then heal when you're mid-jump, and when you hit the ground hold crouch and bunny hop, you can maintain your speed whilst healing. This one takes some practice, and to be honest it's kind of unnecessary, but hey, mobility is mobility, and I'm sure you guys can find a use for it. Number 4. Hopefully this one doesn't come as a surprise to any of you, but just in case you didn't know, you run faster when your weapon isn't equipped. Duh. But, also more obscure, you can climb higher, and you can slide further. So running around without your weapon equipped is really overall more advantageous, and it doesn't take much time at all to whip it out for a combat. Number 5. When you drop from the airship, you can actually slide on the ground right before the camera has even entered first-person mode. This eliminates the initial ground stagger and allows you a few more milliseconds to get that first gun. Number 6. On ziplines, you can actually jump and swap directions mid-flight, or trip, or zip, or whatever you would call that. This is especially useful on Pathfinder, who spends a lot of his time on ziplines. Number 7. Speaking of ziplines, you can use them to gain speed or propel yourself a small distance if you simultaneously hit E and spacebar when you get close to a vertical one. You can use this also on horizontal ziplines, but it doesn't work quite as well. And finally, number 8. You strafe much faster if you hip-fire your gun. This is great for close combat dodging enemy bullets, and it works really well on machine guns and shotguns at close range. Also, the wingman is very accurate if you shoot it from the hip at close range. It doesn't work quite as well with guns like the wingman or snipers if you're on a zipline or jumping, but you might hit a stray shot.
Oh my god, you're a freak, dude.
And that's all of them. I hope you guys enjoyed my quick tips on mobility and hopefully you learned something. I know I did making this video. If I left anything out, or you know some obscure trick, be sure to let me know in the comments. And also, don't forget to let me know how I did. How many of these did you already know? If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Consider subscribing and I'll see you in the next one.